Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. Welcome. It is Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. And quite honestly, I've been pretty engrossed in the ongoing hurricane in Florida and have not been paying attention to a whole lot of other things. So as the title says, y'all are going to have to catch me up on what's happening with the 1776 RM and opposition. And hopefully you'll do that a little bit later on. But let's get started, as we always do, with what mainstream media is saying is breaking news. And CNN, Hurricane Ian makes landfall. We'll talk about that coming up. I got some videos. Biden approves 1.1 billion more in military aid. 6 injured in an Oakland school shooting this afternoon. Donald Trump nearly fired Ivanka and Jared. That's according to The Independent. Las Vegas bomber who was serving life sentence for murder has escaped from prison. So you might want to know that if you're in that area. That comes from the New York Post. And Ukraine troops encircling Russian forces as Putin faces a major defeat. And that's not going to bode well, as he can't lose. And things aren't looking good over there, but we'll get to that in just a second. Hi, Donna. Thank you for stopping in. Hope you're having a great night. Hello to everybody out there watching. And we're going to keep rolling along here. And Ian, of course, the big story of the day, but there were other things happening, including North Korea launches 2 ballistic missiles. And Seoul says a nuclear test is imminent from North Korea. And this all comes as Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be visiting. I almost shut us off there accidentally. I hope I didn't. No, I don't want to end the stream. There we go. Adorable, deplorable. Hello. Hi, Pat Tolliver. Came here for peace. Wizzy has lost his mind. Okay. Peace. And we will provide that peace. And hopefully somebody will tell me what's going on with Wizzy if he's lost his mind. Interesting. So, hello, Lucille. Thank you for joining. Got some other stories. Again, we're going to focus on what happened with Ian, the hurricane. Those that watched the show have watched the show for a long time know that when we were heavily covering the conflict in Eastern Europe, one of the favorite things for people to see was what was on Russian news. And we're not covering, YouTube, I know you're paying attention, and I respect that. This is your channel or your site. My channel, your platform. I'm not reporting on that one way or the other. I'm just reporting on what these reporters are saying, because we've seen these guys many times, and this one is really interesting. And here's your translation down here. We go along.
Но посмотрите, какие сейчас условия для людей, которых попадают по частичной мобилизации. Да сделайте такие же условия для добровольцев. У вас добровольцев будет даже больше.
Конечно.
Потому что для них каникулы по кредитам.
Да.
Для них сохранение рабочего места, что проблема с добровольцами. Для них выплаты, как для контрактников.
Володь, у нас несколько миллионов охраны в стране.
5 миллионов охранников.
У нас, если посмотришь...
Again, 1 million to be drafted. And we told you that on here probably 2 weeks ago, that what he had said, 300,000 would be called up. What he had said and what he actually had signed were completely different things. And we get it confirmed here.
Как задерживают какого-нибудь деда-педофила в малюсенькой деревне где-нибудь там на севере, когда 7 тяжелых приходят его задерживать. Его бабка его задержит, если ей сказать.
Notice their own reporters are calling this a meat grinder.
Топором. У нас людей вооруженных, ну с каким-никаким опытом, ну всяко могущих больше пригодиться на фронте, чем парикмахеры и музыка, и студенты.
И спросили выделить. Я говорю, извините, детский вопрос. А вы спрашивали у людей их военно-учетную специальность? Ответ, не знаю. Что значит не знаю? При этом я бы, мне нельзя такие слова говорить, но вот я бы там генерал-полковников, генерал-лейтенантов, я бы вернул на службу.
Зачем? Куда?
Есть куда.
Куда?
И есть зачем.
У тебя есть для них должность?
Да.
У тебя для них части есть?
Есть.
Откуда?
Во.
Они пустые стояли?
Не. Во-первых, еще у нас 1 150 000 в армии. У нас 1 150 000 в армии.
Да не считайте вы людей, считайте подразделения.
Можем считать и подразделения. Но я бы ряд вернул. Вот взять этого военкома за ухо и на передовую на Донбасс.
А то
жаловался.
там будет что? Он не способен, у него мозгов нет.
Правильно.
Так не посылай без мозгов на фронт.
Лопаточку
там
ему
хуже
дать, пусть
будет.
и окапывается. От него будет вреда там меньше. В тюрьму его сразу.
So the idea of privilege does not just extend to the classes here in our country. This guy's upset because he's been called up to serve, and he's a national television broadcaster. And the guy we have on the screen right now is calling him out as a coward for not going. Just something I wanted to share. I thought that not a lot of people in the United States would have this perspective of what's happening over there in Russia as people are being called into service. Again, Vice President Harris is going to slam the North Korea missile test when she visits the DMZ. So we'll see how that plays. And as I said, we're going to focus on Ian a little bit here in the beginning. And yes, that is a shark swimming along I-75 near Naples, an interstate highway. And in other news, Coolio, Grammy-winning gangster in paradise singer, revolutionary in rap, passed away at 59 and no cause of death at this time. Here's what it looked like earlier today. This is Fort Myers, Florida, from a third-story balcony. And as you can see, buildings already underwater. This was before the second wave came through. The second surge came through after the rear of the eye wall passed over. For those that are wondering, why don't they take 911 calls in evacuation zones? Because sometimes it ends up like this, and the rescuers can't move, let alone come and get you. So when when they tell you evacuate, this could happen. Take it seriously for your own good. And here's another shark. This time it's in Fort Myers, swimming up the street Storm surge so powerful that it brought a shark into the city streets of Fort Myers. And this is a reminder to anyone, whether it's whether you're in a hurricane zone or any kind of flood zone. Don't go wading in it. Don't go swimming in it. Don't stay away from that water because you never know what's in it. And in Florida, it could be a shark, it could be a gator, it could be a snapping turtle, it could be a 20-foot Burmese python that's washed out of the Everglades. So over the next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of floodwater in Florida. If you're in Florida, stay away from it. Just, don't be a doofus. Okay. Don't be a doofus. And one really incredible thing that I haven't seen anybody else talking about that happened during this storm today. And again, my daughter, my son-in-law, my grandson are all in that area. Heck, I'm from Indiana, and I checked the 50 and over box and have checked it for quite some time. And a lot of the people, a lot of my friends are now in Florida. Okay, a lot of the people I know have retired to Florida, so there are a bunch of people down there, and a lot of them I care about deeply. So I've been focused on this throughout the day. This is reverse storm surge. Video shows water receding in Tampa Bay. The winds were so strong that it blew the water out of rivers and out of the Tampa Bay, so that you could actually see the bottom of the bay. And I had this queued up. I don't know why it's now showing SEC football. But anyway, I had a video of it, and it's probably been taken off and not and made private, so because they're going to sell it, because it was awesome video. And one final thing, and then we'll get over to the chat and say hey to everybody and see what kind of questions y'all have. This might be a relatively short live, and the people that watched the recorded version, they like the really shorter lives. The other night we went for almost 2 hours, and we're going to talk about the past few episodes coming up here as well. But I want y'all to get me caught up on what's happened in 1776 and the opposition today. But first, we are going to see some video of live footage of what happened. This was recorded live of what was happening with Hurricane Ian. I think this is Pine Island, if I remember right. And this is Dr. Reed Timmer. Some of you possibly will remember Reed from Storm Chasers, a long-running series on the Discovery Channel. He drove a vehicle called the Dominator, then the Dominator 2 and the Dominator 3. He is still doing this. Dr. Timmer is still storm chasing, and put himself in a precarious position today. He had also been working all summer long on getting a new vehicle ready, the Dominator 4. Spoiler alert, it washed away. He was able to get all the science stuff out of it and retreat to somewhere safely, but indeed found himself in a very precarious position. And we're going to watch some of that. He's also got a really good, a really talented IT team, including a video editor.
Get big debris!
And speaking of flying debris, Jim Cantori, who is with the Weather Channel, was doing a broadcast today, got hit with flying debris. Don Lemon from CNN was doing a broadcast and had metal debris flying towards him. Vince Waletti, a storm chaser, almost had his legs taken off as he was putting gas in his vehicle with a blown piece of sheet metal that came ripping past him. So respect and appreciation for all of the people that were out working for science and working to get pictures of things happening as they happened.
There it is! Surge coming! Comes the storm surge! Major high wire hurricane! Ian is dominating right now! Big storm surge right now! Hurricane Ian coming over the wall, south side of Pine Island, just ripping his eyewall, wobbling in. All chance the eye might even come ashore. Be careful out here from flying debris, certainly. Strongest hurricane yet. I've been at least on the coast here with onshore flow. Big south, westerly. Oklahoma here, taking a lot of damage. Starting to inundate bottom floor. This has been
Okay, again, that's Reed Timmer and played about half of that. You can go catch the rest of that on his YouTube channel. It's Reed Timmer, and I'm going to try one more time here to see if I can get the footage up. I've got it up in preview, if I can get it up on the screen. And we do. Okay. This is Tampa Bay, pulling water from Tampa Bay, and eventually all that water will come rushing back in. But here's a few seconds of what it looks like. And if you've ever been down there, you know the water comes all the way up to the wall that right here. Normally it is up to that wall. So I don't know if you're a science geek at all. That's whoop. There we go. Don't want you doing that. Thank you though. Like I said, I got friends in Florida. I got family in Florida, and one of them works for EMS, and we've got to consider a couple of things here. Number one, we know that just a few days ago, Fiona, the strongest storm in history to ever hit the Atlantic shore of Canada, and the measurements aren't in yet, but it's anticipated Ian could have been the largest storm to have hit America. I got a friend that's in EMS. He said they are in advanced preparations for mega shelters, long-term big shelters for large number of people. The idea of martial law, having the Florida National Guard in charge of the areas has not been ruled out, and closer to 3 million people have lost power in the storm, and the storm that Fiona, the hurricane that eventually hit Canada as a large depression. 5 million people ended up without power from that storm. So at the moment, the last I heard, the estimates were getting close to 2 million. The guy I talked to said it's closer to 3 million right now, and don't be surprised if it's possibly 6 or 7 or even 8 million by the time the storm gets done, because it is still, at least the last time I checked, as of this airing, it is still a Category 1 hurricane. So that means sustained winds of, I believe it's 97 to 113 miles an hour. So it's still a very strong storm around where the eye was as it moves across. It's going to impact from Fort Myers all the way to possibly Jacksonville, at least Daytona Beach, the projected path now. And it's already impacted Miami. Everything but the Panhandle in Florida is going to feel the effects of this. Some are going to feel the effects of flooding. Some, there are going to be tornadoes. Others, it's going to be the path of this this hurricane. So for people that are downplaying this, and I've seen a lot of this on the internet, don't be shocked if when we wake up in the morning we find that things are really, really, really bad. Okay, and if you're a praying person, don't forget the people in Florida, because there are going to be a lot of displaced people. There are a lot of people trapped in their homes. There's a whole mobile home park that is underwater, And I mean, up to the roofs of the trailers. And if those people didn't get out, if they didn't evacuate, again, the potential for it being really, really bad when daylight comes and the storm has moved past the area that it's in, it's still probably going to be putting rain down. And in some areas, they're going to have 20 inches of rain in under a 12-hour period. And Florida is very near sea level. Okay, it's I think the highest spot in Florida is like 345 feet or something above sea level at its highest point. So this could get very bad for a very long time in Florida. And don't forget about those people, again, if you're a praying person. So with all that being said, I'm going to hop over into the chat, go up to the top and see what is, see who I've missed. Hi, Cunning Stunt. Hi, Sissy McLeod. I'm going to tell you this. Sissy McLeod is absolutely, if not the best, one of the best mods in history. And no, you can't have her on your channel. No, I'm just kidding. It's up to Sissy, of course, what she does. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Lisa Hurley. Lucille, Donna, Ms. Free to Be Me. Hi, Ms. Free to Be Me. Herb Bedler, how are you? Oomph. Jennifer. Hi, Cindy. With all the news going on 1776 and you don't want to report on it anymore, it's just shameful. Whoa, hold on. Don't be putting things like that out there, because that's not true. That's not what's said at all. I've been focused on what's happening with Ian today. I've had I had a sister take a fall. We lost a family member on Monday, and all the going back and forth of when all that's going to happen has all been. I've had a lot of things going on. I haven't paid attention to 1776 and the opposition today. I'm not going to stop reporting on it at all. That's the whole thing. That's how I got on this. I'm a journalist. I find stories and I follow the stories. I found this story when there was supposedly a gunshot in Portland, Oregon. And I started looking into this, and it's led to, I mean, I didn't look into it as heavy as I have been recently, but because I didn't know then what I know now. But no, I'm not. I'm going to keep reporting on it. There's nothing shameful. Worry about the Russians after the U.S. has been fixed. I'm not worried about the Russians at all, other than the fact that they might do something really, really stupid. And I hope that's not the case. But no, I'm not gonna quit reporting on it. Actually, I want you all to tell me what's up. What's up, Al Munson, man? Where you been? Haven't seen you for a while. Hi, Leva. Watching people win or fail. Lead me to the bliss. Rest in peace, Coolio. From this I know. Hello. People were stranded and all they could do is tell them to get safe inside. Yeah. Again, if you ever find yourself in a situation like that, I know a lot of people don't trust the government. But and again, I was there was a time I couldn't get through to my daughter. And I kept telling myself, the power's out. And it was that when you don't know, it's hard to have friends and family in those positions. And when they tell you to evacuate, and when you actually see how big the thing is, Take it serious, please, because I love y'all and I want you all around. Lisa Hurley. Hello, Brett Boyle. Robert Escobar. Hello, Corey. Hi, Grant and Ruby Ocean. Okay, let me get down here. So, are y'all telling me I want Brett to autograph my runway? Maybe you can light my runway up. Ooh, Brett, there you go, buddy. Brett, will you autograph my rollerblades? Man, I didn't know Brett was such a star. Oh, thank you, Cunning Stunt. Hearts to you too. The 10-4 rally is okay. BTM Sparky's catching me up. Thank you, BTM Sparky. And I knew last night I was going through the people that have been on the show here recently, and I started it because I've been trying to get the interview I did with our friend Apollo. I've been trying to get it to play. We've had technical difficulties, and it got me thinking about people I've had on, because there was a big stretch there where I didn't have guests, and it was because of copyright strikes and about to have the channel shut down and all that stuff. And while I mentioned that, I did get a copyright strike for the episode from last night. So if you watched it, you got to see the whole thing. Otherwise, there's a part of it that's been clipped out because of copyright infringement. The part about the cults got clipped out. And then the episode before that, it was deemed inappropriate to anyone under 18. I'm not really sure why, but it was. So I expect a lot of people are reporting the channel now because we try to report the truth, and a lot of people don't like that. So that brings us full circle to I want to thank BTM Sparky for coming on when she did, and Glow Lady came on. I want to thank both of them, and I hope I didn't miss anybody, but as soon as I started listing, I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna leave somebody out. Anyway, the 10-4 rally is moving into DC, and Wizzy blew a chip. The opposition is live streaming into the city, and their truckers are ripping 1776 on the CB. Wow. Wow. I've missed a lot by not watching today. So Wizzy's mad because the truckers aren't aligning with 1776. I take it. Is that what the situation is? Molten Metal, I pretty much quit following 1776. Seems pretty dead to me. Yeah, I mean, what are they doing? Now, don't get me wrong, it makes great comedy fodder for the Dolls reenactment, 1776 reenactment with the Dolls. It makes good content for all the comedy producers, and they do a great job. But what are they doing? They came and said, we're here because we're a Christian organization, we're a patriotic organization, and we want to restore the Constitution. And we quickly found out they didn't even know the Constitution, so how can you restore it? They don't understand flags, let alone many other things we could point to. So you really don't have a leg to stand on when you're going to brag about how patriotic you are compared to anybody else, when the proof's there that you're not. And then the Christianity, First of all, the BTM video of forget the guy's name, the guy that ate they ate the food that was infested with rats and ended up getting the plague. BTM had a video of him talking about all the drugs that were in the camp. And so that was the first little ding against Christianity there, that maybe it wasn't a Christian organization after all. And then the Naughty Aubrey thing made even the most diehard go, so what is it about? It's not about anything they said it was about. So what is it about? And if the truckers that are coming in there for their movement are disavowing 1776, as it sounds it might be the case, then that's got to make all the supporters think, what are they doing? And that's why molten metal and a lot of us are like, seems like it's pretty dead. And that's a great thing, in my opinion. As I said on last night's episode, go home, enjoy the freedoms that you do have, and understand that the vast majority of America is looking at you wondering, if this is not a criminal enterprise, what are you doing? And if it's not a criminal enterprise, go home. Otherwise, there are going to be a lot of eyes, because you've already proven time and again that, the hate that comes out of the group alone should disqualify anyone of putting the label of Christianity on themselves. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do an episode coming up here, recorded episode, that basically says what Jesus says you should do as a Christian, for those that might have forgotten. And I've got a little series, the Bible in our modern times. When I've talked about Revelations, I've talked about Matthew, and we'll talk about something called the Sermon on the Mount, and I'm going to try to have that up Sunday morning. So a little tease there for something, but anyway, and that's just for those that it's totally different than the Something to Think About and the Late Night America. Okay, you guys are talking you guys are talking amongst yourselves in the chat. I always appreciate that when there's good conversations within the chat. BTM Sparky, human trafficking, pedophilia, and child exploitation will never be normalized, not as long as I live and breathe. And those are some of the allegations that have been and continue to be leveled against 1776 restoration movement. That's not a secret anymore. Carl Hunter Stanton, he's scared of his own beliefs. Who's that? Brett Boy telling Doofus to fuck off isn't a good look. Okay, well. Oh, you're talking about Telescope. Okay. What kind of people want to stop the protesters who are against a ped call? Seriously. No, I'm not talking about the protesters going home. I'm talking about 1776. That, they've been exposed as not what they've said they were. So, and they're now trying to kind of rebrand themselves. We're not 1776, we're J6ers. And the people that are in prison for J6, and a lot of you may not like hearing this, but the people in prison for J6 awaiting trial are not there because of their political beliefs alone. They're there because they committed criminal acts, and they're being held accountable for those criminal acts. And if it was for their political beliefs alone, I imagine Oreo would probably be in prison for his political beliefs if it was really about politics, but it's not. It's about criminal activity. And that rebranding isn't going to work any more than trying to pretend to be what you're not, because eventually the truth comes out. Okay, I got you. I got you, Cunning. All right. Oh, all wars are financial bail. Yeah, if the American military industrial complex has to be constantly fed. There have to be wars going on somewhere. And I think it was Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, a Republican, who warned us. I got you, Kenny. Who warned us against that? Carl and Brett going at it. It's amazing how things have evolved, and how this is the new form of entertainment, interactive, and we're on the cutting edge of it. You know, the live streamers have taken the place of the old field reporters, because by the time the field reporter gets their story taped, they get it back to the studio, it's edited and put on at a set time. It's outdated by several hours because of people live streaming it, and because of social media, and because of sharing content. That it's amazing, and how people can communicate with each other as the channel is being, as we're doing this, as we're talking about what's happened today. People are engaging with each other in the chat about things, not necessarily about what's on the screen. And that's very cool, because it means communication's going on. And as long as communication's going on, there's always the chance for knowledge to be gleaned, if you will. I can't believe Oreo is still around 1776. There has to be 1,000 more exciting things to stream for grifting. I kind of thought he'd head to the border. I imagine Weisskopf is going to be showing up somewhere around something hurricane-wise, trying to do something. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Wizzy, it appeared anyway, Wizzy distanced himself from them, or they asked him to distance himself from them. But Oreo must be getting a hefty chunk to stick around and do this, because he's got a beautiful wife, and he's got kids, and why is he attached to this if there's not some kind of major financial reward involved? And is that reward really coming from donors? I mean, I know it's coming from donors, but is it really coming from supporters, or is it being dispersed to possibly even bots? I don't know. Maybe there are thousands upon thousands of people that still support 1776. I understand why, especially after talking to as many people as I have, I understand why, people, why people joined and thought it was a good thing, and why people donated money. And I also understand why so many people got out and why so many people are upset that it's still ongoing after time and time again, people try to expose what's happened in there. And it's interesting. And now we've got a fairly significant, I'm assuming it's going to be a fairly significant turnout of truckers for this 10-4 meeting or gathering. And I'm assuming it's going to be at the mall. And with them saying they don't want 1776 involved, again, that's got to put another, at least a pause in anyone that's still supporting them to realize that maybe we've been hoodwinked. I don't know. I was a patriot before this dumpster fire. It's I've asked that question a lot. What's it mean? What's it mean to be a patriot? I asked my friend Apollo, who's a member of the Black community, and I asked him if he considered himself a patriot, and I think he felt like a lot of people, before all this stuff started happening. Yeah, we would call ourselves patriots, but because a certain segment has claimed the word patriot and kind of sullied it into the point where they are the only ones that can be patriots, then everybody else is like, okay, you take that label. It doesn't change how I feel about the flag being respected, or how I feel about respecting the Constitution and the amendments to the Constitution, and not just the Bill of Rights, because that was a giveaway to me when they said, we're going to learn the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. What about the other amendments? Well, they don't like the other amendments because it gives rights to other people. Just something to think about. My grandmother took me to parades. We were in parades. We waved flags on every holiday. They have drug patriotism into the mud with protecting 6 sex offenders, allegedly. I don't know, Carl, you and Brett want to come on here one night? What time is it? It's a little late now, but Carl, tomorrow, I'm going to be on again tomorrow. Let me see. Tomorrow night's Thursday. Yeah, I'll be on. No, I won't. I've got to do the family thing. I'm going to take tomorrow night off. I'll be on Friday at midnight. Carl, if you and Brett want to come on and talk with each other, you'll be welcome to do it. You can keep going in the chat. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, people like it when we have discussions on here. So the invitation's open, and the invitation's open to anyone that would like to come on. And again, I thank the people we have had on, BTM Sparky, Glow Lady, Telescope, Just Here. I'm going to miss somebody, I'm sure, but Celtic Mutt, the Squirrels, Lori Arnold, of course, Defender of Ants, King of Content. And it'll be interesting to see what is indeed going on. Wizzy. So somebody said Wizzy, I love you too, BTM Sparky. Somebody said Wizzy was freaking out. How he was just freaking out over the 1776 and truckers. Was that his major freak out? No, man, you're not disrupting the chat, Carl. I don't think you are anyway. And again, I'd like to have you guys on. Come on one at a time if you don't want to come on together. But no, you're not disrupting the chat. And I get talking and I forget about the chat. So, and no disrespect to anything in the chat. It's just I'm old and that's the way it happens. I was a mod for Aunt Lori and Squirrels, as well as have my own channel. Okay. All right. That's cool. Brett, why don't you come on Friday night and Carl might come on afterwards. Who knows? But Brett, let's just have you scheduled to come on Friday night at midnight, and I'll promote it so that everybody watches. Because again, I'm going to take tomorrow night off. I think I may do an unscheduled live. It depends on what happens tomorrow. But again, I got a family member that's in the hospital. We've got a family member that we're going to have funeral services for, and there's going to be a whole bunch of making sure everybody in Florida is okay. So I'll probably take tomorrow off and then be back here Friday night. So, but regardless, Brett, let's just say come on Friday night at midnight. And if you're okay with that, let me know, or email me, americandufus@gmail.com. All right. And anybody that has questions for Brett, email them to me as well, or DM me in Discord, or you can come on Friday night. Awesome. Okay. We'll get some insight then from Brett Boyle, because his name comes up an awful lot. So I'm looking forward to that, finding out what's up. I'll send you a prep vid to watch. Okay, Carl. Cool. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Sincerely, if you're in Florida, I wish nothing but the positive best for all of you down there. I know some of you are watching, and I thank you for watching, because you didn't know I was doing a show. And I didn't know what a lot of you people were doing either. And I say you people, you know what I'm saying. I'm not singling anybody out. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank all of you in the chat. Thank all of you watching on the recorded version. All of you are here live. And we'll do this again Friday night at midnight. And we'll have Brett Boyle on. Look forward to that. I hope you do too. It's a dark world. Try to be a light. Spread some positive vibes if you can. Peace. See you next time. This has been Late Night in America.